Hello guys, good morning. So basically we are going to be having a breakdown on the Bitcoin chart, which is the BTC USD chart. And one thing I can clearly see here is I've had a lot of markups and everything. Yes, which I've done. I know some of you saw my chart where I dropped a little analysis on this particular pair. So we'll get down to that. Let's clear up the chart and get to start again, and let's see what we can come up with. So clearly one thing you all can see on the chart is we've had series of what we would call break of structures. So we've had series of places where price has broken to the upside, broken to the upside, and broken to the upside. So we'll consider those as what we would call our break of structures. So we have this point. So all we simply do is we clone it multiple times. We clone it multiple times. So we'll clone it multiple times, and there is one here which is a good break of structure. I just have to adjust it to fit in. Adjust it to fit in. We have another one here. We have a smaller one here. So I will just basically mark all the break of structures, not avoiding any one. Let's see how that goes. We have another significant break of structure here. Now, bear in mind, there will be other smaller break of structures, but then looking at this chart plainly, you will clearly understand that these are the break of structures we have. So one thing we can easily do is there is another break of structure which happened like long ago. So let's mark that out. Let's work with that too. Now we are not going to be using it, but just for marking purpose, let's mark it out too because it's a break of structure. Now, what are these break of structure I'm marking? I'm marking all the break of structures that have happened on Bitcoin since the initiation of Bitcoin, basically. So we have this one. So we won't go down to marking this one. It's not something we're not here to to mark break of structures. So that is that for that. So when you look at the chart clearly, you can clearly see all the break of structures that happened on this particular chart. So you can look at all the break, you can see all the break of structures that have happened on this particular chart. Now there's something I would also point out. Let's take a look at what has happened also previously. Now on the previous point, in previous times we had this break of structure, price pushed up massively, which is nice, and it dropped, picked up from here, broke this structure, broke this point, which is breaking the structure, and then it dropped again, dropping below this point, respecting this zone, and pushing up again. Now we had a smaller break of structure here, which some persons will consider as a rally based rally, and it's just what it is. Now we have this same thing that happened here repeating itself here. So this same thing that happened in this zone, we are having that repeating itself again here. Now if we go further, let's see the year. It happened in 2021, and it happened, yeah, it happened in 2021. Yeah, 2021. Here it's happening in 2025. So now what is that which happened? We just use history. So basically trading is basically using the past to analyze the present, or using the past to predict what you expect should happen. And most of the time it plays out. So now we have this high taking out, which is a break of structure, but then because we have this low aligned with this base and all of this major move, generally we always wait for price to come down and give us retest and go back up. Now price is currently around this zone, and one thing we can see is it's been dropping. I would only be okay with accepting buys on Bitcoin on after this price has been taken out, which is 74 500. So basically, sorry guys. So basically, I would only be okay with accepting that price will go back up after it has taken out this price point, which is 74 500. It might go down more, that's fine, but only after it has taken this low out, I can say that price can start going up. So based on that, what will I do? I would simply mark this out, and I'm targeting what I'm expecting that price takes out this low before doing any other thing in the market. Now I'll change the color because of this zone. I'll change the color to okay, let's pick purple. Purple is not too different. Let's pick something different. So green is different. It's different from this blue. So we don't want something that would seem aligned, like we are in the same zone. So now, having done this, let's go down to the. Okay, so we have something. We have an issue, guys. So going back. Normally, to go back, I simply just take my cursor to the center here and it takes me back. But then we are not having that happening here. So all we do, I'll simply reload. Let me reload. I'll simply reload it. So we won't take it back to that particular zone. And all our markups has been okay. Our markup is still there, which is nice. It's a nice one. So I'll simply adjust it so that we have space to work on our chart. I'll simply adjust it. I think this is okay. So I won't have to go back there, so we don't have issues. Normally, if I'm on my trading view for indices, I just take my arrow up and it cancels. I can come back here. So that being the case, let's continue what we are doing. Now we have this low, which we expect to be taken out. We have this break of structure. Some other persons will be looking at other block and all of that, which is fine. And maybe double bottoms and all of that, anticipating buys, which is fine. But now, one thing I would always look out for is the support. Now we have the support, we have the high taken out. So now let's go down to observing certain things that happen in this market. So now we have this low, we have this higher low, we have this higher low. It's a good information, but I want to go down to the smaller time frame, not adjusting much. So let's go to the daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame, something is clear and something is nice, which is we have our low, we have our higher low, higher low, higher low, and all of this before price started dropping to the downside. Now, I think I dropped a Bitcoin chart where I analyzed that we should be expecting Bitcoin to drop. Yeah, I think I analyzed that. You can check my previous videos, and yeah, I said this was our final take profit. But then I'm just dropping a new analysis based on the structure I saw here, and I posted it, and some persons have taken opportunity, they've taken the sell and they've made profit on it. So back to what we're saying, I would simply do one thing, which is we'll go to our line graph, we pick our line graph, and on our line graph, we would simply plot our zone. Now, this is our trend line we are plotting, which is plotting is from the low to the higher low, basically. Now, it aligns with this particular low. If you follow me, you already know we would have to adjust our trend line to this particular low. Now, this is now what helps us understand we've gotten a proper trend line, in the sense that it's just the best way. You want to learn how to go about plotting trend lines like this, just watch our past videos. I explained that there. So now we have these highs here, but then for me to go down to picking these highs, one thing I'll simply do is we'll plot our highs. So I'd like to change this color also again. Let's change the color to something different. Okay, this is fine. So I'll simply like to plot our highs. This is one, and this is another one. These are major highs basically, considering this trend line break. So these are major highs in alignment with this trend line break. So we have this point again, and we have another point, which is we have this zone also. Another zone again we have is we have this point here. So now all these levels have been plotted out. All this level, we have another one. If you want to go small to smaller time frames, you will see this one. You see this level. You just keep marking levels. You also see something like this also. If we go, we have this red level here. So all these levels, price has come there, respected it and pushed up, respected the zones at the top, and it's just giving us structure. So that's what it is. So based on all this information, our strategy always tells us whenever price gets into our zone, respects it, we should look to pick a confirmation at the next zone or next layer, which will help us ride to the downside. So now these two zones are our next layer. So let's go to the 4 hours time frame. Let's pick a better information on this. So now just as I've said, these two zones are our next layer. You can see it, this one and this one. Now if we want to go a little bit stiffer, we have this point also. If we want to go a little bit stiffer, we have this point, we have other points, but I will just mark this one. So now, having marked all of these areas, one thing we can clearly see now, we'll come down to this zone and we want to now read market structure on this particular area. We can see this is a very strong zone. Price reacted here before breaking massively to react to these zones, which is quite alright, and that's fine. So one thing we can easily see is we can simply say we have break here. We have a break of structure at this point and a retest. So one thing I would simply say, two things. You can mark it any way you wish. You can either mark it by just marking this zone alone. You can mark it by just marking this zone alone, or you can mark it and extend it down to this point. You get. Now this point will be maybe a safe zone you want to use for stop loss, but there's actually going to be a zone for your stop loss inside this zone, which gives this break of structure. Now what is this whole thing here? Once the whole interpretation here is we had a break of structure and we had price retesting into that zone. Now it didn't just retest once, it retested first time, which is this. I wasn't around, I didn't even see this price retesting here, so I don't think I caught up on the trade. So, but if I caught up on trade, if I analyzed it on the last one, that's fine. But I can't remember analyzing. So now, when I got this, I saw price at this point. We got in here and we've been holding. Where are we targeting? We are targeting this low. Yeah, we are targeting this low for our TP. So that is it. Those who want to take quick TP will just take quick TP either at this point and at this point. Now, at all these lines are levels that reversals can come up on, or minor reversals and all of that, but don't mind those reversals, they are noise. Now if you took trade here, there's also a point where we can refine your entry. Remember, this is 4 hours time frame, so using small accounts, you just have to be very sensitive at the particular point you're taking your entry. So these are entry. You can see you're taking your entry based off of the break and retest to this particular line and line of support, which turns to resistance, and that's it. For entries we took yesterday, we didn't get it on time, so we got it here. We took our entry here and we placed our stop loss here, targeting this point. So this was it yesterday. This was just it. So we are still holding the trade, and let's see how far it would go. So let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Let's see what the 1 hour time frame has for us. So on the 1 hour time frame, this zone still repeats, is still strong, which you can see break, retest, break, retest. So this is just like a lot of entries for people who were on the market at this point, and they'll be looking at taking first TP here, second, and so on. Now They had a good retracement, price respected their zone again, and they striked. So if they striked here, now the point is, where would you put your safe stop loss? Now it aligns with the line of sensitivity. Now the truth is this: you just have to not over pump entries using this strategy. You just have to not over pump entries, because sometimes the stop loss is wide, and there are two ways you can put your stop loss. Now if you're using this break and retest zone, where would you put your stop loss? Your stop loss would be safe at this high. Now why is it at this high? Now there's something like another block here which created a break. You always see such another block here which created a break of structure. But apart from this, this is a line of sensitivity. This is also a line of sensitivity, which we can call our highs and our levels of highs, basically ceilings. I'm using different words because I just learned using different words. So that's it. So you can either decide to use this one or you can decide to use this one. Now the overall stop loss is supposed to be here, but it's wide now, so you just know how to refine it. You can either select this one, or you refine it by using a smaller stop loss, and you can put your stop loss using a smaller lot size, and you can put your stop loss here basically. That way you will still be fine. And at this point, there is a way I refined it. There's a way I can help you refine an entry here, which is we'll go to the line graph. This is 1 hour time frame, which is cool. We'll go to the line graph. We plot our trend line. Now I don't want to use the other one, I want to use this one. So we'll plot our trend line. Now, so when you're done plotting your trend line, one thing you can easily see here is this. You'll find out that you now have to go and pick the levels on the 1 hour time frame. So picking our levels on the 1 hour time frame also will help us to initiate the, what would you call that, where you put your stop loss if you want to catch up on this entry here. So now using our formula simply says you just pick all these highs. One, we have high 1, 2, we have this one here too, so just pick it. What matters is when you go to smaller time frame, you see reasons why those levels are important. Either you use them or you discard them. So this high, there's also one here. So now this is for the small, like if you just want to take a scalp and you're targeting this, if you're picking a trend line here, obviously your take profit will be here on smaller time frame. But remember, we're using the higher time frame, so you know where our take profit is. So okay. So we have all of these levels marked out, and we can go to the 15 minutes time frame. We have no issue with that. So on the 15 minutes time frame, it's very clear where we have this level marked out, this one. You can still add more levels by marking out this one. So okay, so you have this level, also this one, this level marked out. We can just simply adjust it to the 15-minute time frame. Remember, you have to take your entry on smaller time frame, so that's why we are adjusting. So now, when are we taking executions, or when are we taking entries? We are only taking entries based on the reaction of these zones. Now we've seen it has gotten into our major zone, which is fine. We've seen we have double top here, which is fine. Those are confirmations. Now we begin to look for initiations for entries when we get our trend line break. So when we get our trend line break, that's our first confirmation. Bearish candlestick close, which is fine. Price comes down, respect this zone, pushes down and rejects. You can find a level of resistance and another block here, and you can take your entry. Taking your entry sell for a sell here, you'll be putting your stop loss here. That is a refined entry. So when you put your stop loss here, then you target this point here. So I just simply showed you how that's this low. I just simply showed you how you'll be taking your entry using smaller time frames. Yeah, that's it basically. So I'll be clearing this off. I just had to break it down for you guys. So that'll be all for now, guys. That'll be all for now. So this is basically our analysis on BTC USD. We expect it to hit the lows of 774, 73. Let's check it. Let's check the price we were looking at. So that means this year is gonna be really messy for some persons who are holding BTC. But if you have the mind, not really mind, if you understand that it's a business for a long term, you won't be afraid holding. Yeah, that's it. So we expect it to hit 74506. So that's the price we expect it to hit. I even expect it to go much more lower. But let's first of all get to this point. Then we can anticipate maybe the next level. So that'll be all, guys. Peace. Do have a wonderful weekend. Bye, guys.